the second thing is you don't get a first chance to make a first impression. You don't get a second chance. The first impression has already come out and it's already kind of tainted a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you are really, I mean, that second movie, that director's cut has got to be fantastic to make up for it. And it wasn't. It wasn't fantastic. Not enough to justify, not enough to be like, oh man, all the wrongs have been righted, everything's fine now.
Yeah, it was definitely the studio's fault. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. You played that card before and you got away with it.
Yeah,
but
I'm among the people that believe that, right? Because I think Batman vs Superman theatrical was weird, and the Ultimate Edition made sense, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a good movie. Watchmen. The theatrical one was great. Yeah, Watchmen, that's different. But then the director's cut one was just more fleshed out, and it was also really good too. That's a 4-hour movie. That's also amazing. So all the his superhero director's cuts, it's like okay, I understand that you got effed with. The studio was trying to keep up with Marvel, trying to get their agenda across. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, and you proved it. This is like your first cut wasn't very good, and then you're like, okay, well here's the director's cut. It's also not very good.
Yeah,
still, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like the director who cried director's cut. You know what I mean? that's what it sounds like now, but like in reverse. You know what I mean? In reverse. So I have been the biggest proponent of Zack Snyder and his work with DC.
You have,
but I cannot get behind Rebel Moon or the zombie. The what was that called? I don't even remember now at this point. Yeah. But yeah, his zombie movie. I don't know, man. Like I'm now, because I know I was saying it the last time we covered this, is like how many more can he do before you start to question where the issue is at? Yeah, you know what I mean. And if he makes, it's like if he makes one more movie after this, and it's also a dud, then it's like, man, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it's hard to defend.
Yeah, it's hard to defend. Yeah,
and I've said before too, like he'll always get a bit of a pass for me, only because I did like Man of Steel. I did like Watchmen. Yeah. So for those reasons, I'm never gonna just straight up just write him off. You know what I mean? Like maybe he's in a bad slump. I mean, even like M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah. Like also one of my favorite director. Like he's had some bad movies, and maybe he's on the uptick again. So I'm not ready to write him off. Honestly, once anybody makes a really good movie, a really solid movie, it's like I'm not gonna be like, okay, well you're garbage, because to me, I've seen what you can do. Yeah. So I'm always gonna, you're the one that made that movie. Yeah, right. You get the benefit of the doubt, Yeah, you're just going through it or something.
But yeah, it just seems like to me that he has too much creative control.
Maybe that is the case.
Yeah, maybe. And I think I was saying this in the last time we covered, but I think he needs to be in a box and to do the most he can in this box, and that's when he really shines. Is like using the resources he has,
or have a path of sorts, and kind of because I know you don't feel the same way, but Taika.
Oh, Waititi,
like maybe he's the same way. Like he's clearly got the chops to make some fantastic movies. Clearly,
and in the right genre, his movies are perfect.
Yeah,
he would be like, and I when I talked about wanting to make movies, his movies like Hunt for the Wilder People, and those kind of movies are the ones that I wanted to make. Right, I wanted to make those kind of slice of life, low budget, kind of like comedy,
a little more intimate,
but a little bit intimate, but a little bit of heart also. Like those are the movies that I live for, that I've always wanted to make. Right on. So he's made movies that I would want to make, but at the same time, he's made movies that I absolutely fucking hate. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah. So same situation. Yeah.
So maybe that's the case. I mean, anyways, I'm trying to think what
else you didn't like.
Yeah. Negatives, I think, I feel like we've covered the majority of them.
I mean, a lot of them are the same from the first one.
But so you're not getting a whole lot more. And again, the fight scene at the end was cool. I still love that fight scene. It felt pretty visceral.
The fight at the end's cool. The fight in the second one's still good, man. Like the war scenes, the battle scenes, they're all good. They're shot well. Even the slow-mo stuff is good in the fight scenes.
There wasn't that much slow-mo in this one. I didn't
not as
notice.
Much, right? Yeah, not as much.
I didn't notice
not
a whole
as much.
bunch of slow motion stuff going on. How interesting.
Maybe with the movie being longer, there probably was less moments for them to do it in there, I guess. But
interesting.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there was as much in the first one. Yeah. But I mean, the slow-mo fight sequences, I think they worked for what he does, his style. Yeah. But yeah, I think, man, just it felt like and I think I'm sure I said this last time too, but like when people feel him being obnoxious in his movies, I didn't see that with the DC movies. A lot of people did, but I see it with this now. And now I'm like, oh, this is a little obnoxious. The slow mo cutting the grain, the slow mo. Or like that scene where they kill the king and the family.
Oh, with
like,
the music,
so obnoxious, man. It's so obnoxious.
It is, yeah.
So it's like I'm seeing those parts of it where it's like, man, I don't think Zack Snyder. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's full of himself, but the movie comes off as being a little bit full of himself, you know, or full of his own style.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe he thought he was being, and again, maybe it's obnoxious, or maybe he literally thought he was being clever with it, or maybe whoever pitched the idea, thought they were being clever, doing something different. Sometimes doing something different doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something good or better. But I don't think it's been done before. Not that I've ever seen anywhere. So maybe they thought they were doing something new and different.
Yeah. I mean, even like even George Lucas when he was showing off. I think I saw a video of him showing off his droids in the prequel, like in the first those droids, the battle droids that came out. He was like, I remember seeing the video, and he was like, he like unveiled it, and he was like,
I saw
and
those
then
battle droids
people were like,
impressive.
That's like that. Well, you know, stormtroopers are cool. And he's like, yeah, but this is the new thing.
Yeah,
I was like, go back to the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Build off of that.
Yeah, and then I think there's another video I saw of like people in the room like pitching ideas back and forth to George Lucas.
Yeah,
and then I forgot what specific scene it was about, but he was like, I think they're telling him like, well, wouldn't this kind of be? Isn't this a little bit like this doesn't work? It's kind of obscure, kind of weird. And his answer was like, or it's bold. Like, no, it was the first one. But you know, but then you know, the first Star Wars didn't get made without him being bold. You know, so it's like you know, it's that kind of same situation. Where you try new things.
So what is he supposed to do? Like, if he's thinking like, man, my boldness, my creativity, my willing to take those leaps is what got me here in the first place, and I'm the king of the world.
Right?
Why would I not?
Why would I stop taking
question myself?
Yeah, exactly. Question myself, limit myself, and not keep taking risks.
Right.
You know, and not every risk pays off.
I'm the greatest movie director in the world. Right. That's the kind of thing. I'm the best.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's a phenomenal point, man.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know. I just it's unfortunate, but I cannot get behind Rebel Moon.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I will probably watch the second movie just out of like my own curiosity. It's not going to let me not watch it. So I will watch it, and then I highly recommend, like, if you want to watch Rebel Moon, the director's cut, 100%, you should watch it. If you are curious about it, if you did like it, if you know, whatever, if you liked the first movie, didn't like the first movie, you want to give it a chance. Yeah. By all means, check it out. But I'm not interested in seeing this universe.
Yeah. I think unless it gets continued by someone else, maybe as Zack Snyder as a producer, or you know, something like that.
Oh, so you're writing Zack Snyder off in this sense.
I don't think maybe he's not the right guy to keep telling the story. Maybe not, because he's one of the writers on the movie. You know?
Sure.
And I'm sure he gets a lot to say in what happens because he's the director also. So I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe let someone else direct it.
So if somebody else were to come on board, let's say they did get somebody really good or somebody new that's really good, you would be interested in revisiting the world, because there's no right or wrong answer. But for me personally, I feel like I'm
done.
I don't. Well, there's nothing interesting in this world that's hooked me.
Well, because it kind of comes down to like a great example is George Lucas. Like he didn't direct Empire, which is arguably the best one.
That's got to be annoying.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? And he only has a story by credit. You know, he didn't write the script for Empire. You know what I mean? And you know, there was a lot of adjustments to A New Hope also, or not A New Hope, Episode 4. Yeah, you know what I mean? Sorry, it's not called A New Hope. People call it that, but Episode 4. You know what I mean? And so he is the creator of Star Wars. He is. He's the man behind. He's a genius behind the world. Yeah. But the actual nuts and bolts of the storyline aren't necessarily all his. Yeah. So if maybe somebody else with a little bit more skill in directing or writing specifically, putting the story together properly, was on board, maybe that would be more interesting. Maybe we get a better output, because if George Lucas directed and wrote and directed Empire, we wouldn't have gotten Empire.
Right, right.
And I think I don't know. I think it seems like maybe the other two writers that are writing Rebel Moon, are probably just Zack Snyder yes men. Maybe, maybe maybe they're not guys that are gonna shake it up or be like, hey, maybe let's let's not do that, Zach. Let's do this. Maybe it's not those kind of guys. So I think if there was, I don't know, somebody else like Zack Snyder overseas, but put somebody else maybe to do some writing, maybe some directing or some kind of other thing, maybe we get something a little bit better. But that I would be interested in that. The next Zack Snyder directed Rebel Moon, I'm not jumping out of my seat about. I'm not posting about it, I'm not excited about it, I'm not talking about it,
That's a solid point, a fantastic point about bringing somebody else on board, right? Because we talked about that. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and angel's advocate. I don't know, but so we talked about that with last episode. Watch our last episode. We talked about Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Yes. How other writers came on board to expand the storyline, to add things to it, to make it better. Like, I don't think Deadpool, when Rob Liefeld created him, was necessarily supposed to be like this practically immortal character. I think that got kind of incorporated later. I think the whole fourth wall aspect
that was later.
Got incorporated later. So a lot of the things that make Deadpool so interesting got incorporated later. Foundations, 100% Rob Liefeld. But everything else came later. Right, even the same thing with Bob Kane and
Phil Finger.
I mean, there's a lot of controversy there, and with Finger, really people say he's really did most of the work, right? And then even like all the things that we get later with Batman, they came later, like in movies, the serials that came out like in the 40s, all this kind of stuff. All this stuff came later, so other people can add on to the genre or of whatever, not the genre, but add on to the character or that IP and make it better. And again, I don't know the answer. Again, I'm just playing both sides, thinking about it. Could that same argument be made for or against the people that have come on board with Star Wars now, right? Like, so we talked about all the sequels with Star Wars and how much we don't like those. It's kind of the same concept. Somebody coming on board saying, hey, we can add something to it, make it better, blah, 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 expand the universe, expand the IP, and then it turns out to be not so great, he said mockingly. So, and again,
could be worse,
it could be worse, right? So I don't know the answer. I just...
So you're at this point, you'd rather just not see it go forward.
Me personally, I have... If they can do it and make it work, I don't want less good content. I just want good content. So if I have no personal interest in seeing this world, like I don't care, and I say this, I don't mean to be like sound rude. I don't care about that mother world or whatever, or their dynamic. I don't care about the I don't know, the farmland where they're on the moon that they're on. I don't, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just not interested in like, oh man, I can't wait to see more.
Go back to this world.
I can't wait to see more of the tentacle nostril people. And their weird Tron world. Like that's my only thing.
I can agree with that. Like there's no way that I'm like looking forward to the next thing, no matter what happens with it.